You know, there's just something about that moment when you're finally unwinding in your own backyard. Maybe you've got a cold drink in hand, you're letting the world drift off. Birds chirping, breeze rolling through those old pines, and then suddenly you hear it. Sirens, tires on gravel, blue and red lights flickering against your porch. Yeah, that'll make your heart skip. And I'm telling you right now, it ain't the kind of excitement you hope for out here. That was me sitting there thinking, my biggest problem was whether my porch swing needed another coat of varnish, and just like that, my world turned upside down because my neighbor, let's call her Karen, since honestly, what else would you call her, decided I was some sort of threat to national security. You think I'm joking? I wish I was. My name's Alex, and for the better part of 20 years, I've been the guy who runs toward trouble, not away from it. Special Ops Commander for the city PD, high speed, high risk, no time for nonsense. But out here in the Whispering Pines neighborhood, I just wanted to breathe for once, let my shoulders drop, maybe fix up a busted fence or finally get around to planting those wildflowers. But from the moment I moved in, Karen had her eye on me like she was the queen bee of a hive nobody asked for. President of our HOA, which really just meant she wrote out rules on the back of old receipts and mailed them around like they were gospel. My fence was 2 inches too high. My flowers were weeds, apparently. And don't get me started on her comments about keeping up appearances. The thing about small neighborhoods is you don't really blend in if you're new, and you especially don't blend in if you're not her version of normal. I tried to play it cool, smile at the mailbox, nod, and keep my mouth shut. But you could feel it, her watching every move, waiting for something to pick apart. The real kicker came one Saturday in October, air, crisp enough to see your breath, when my old buddy Jamal came by. Now, Jamal's the kind of guy you want next to you when things get rough. We've served together, done the kind of work that either makes you brothers for life or never speak again, and let me just say Jamal is solid. He's also black, which shouldn't matter, but it did to Karen whether she'd admit it or not. We'd just finished rigging a cheap trail cam on the back fence for deer season, grabbed some tools, and set up on my patio to clean our rifles. You know, nothing loaded, nothing shady, bolts open, barrels pointed safe, just talking shop, catching up on life, joking about paperwork. Sun coming through the trees. Honestly, the most peaceful I'd felt in ages. And then like clockwork, those cop cars pull up. You ever feel your stomach drop, but it's not fear. It's that slow burn anger, the kind that says you're about to deal with some real stupidity. Yeah, that's what hit me. The officers step out, hands near their belts, and I can see it in their eyes. They've been told this is something big. I raise my hands, calm as can be, and say, "Officers, I'm Alex Reed. My friend and I are just maintaining our legal firearms on private property." "What's the issue?" They relax the second I show my badge. Jamal flashes his, and suddenly we're all on the same page, except Karen, of course, who called 911 with some wild story about 2 armed men lurking, possibly gang members. And if you're picking up the dog whistle, you're not wrong. The officers apologize, almost embarrassed. They tell me she's called about everything from suspicious teens to illegal lawn ornaments. As they drive off, I know what I have to do, and it sure as hell isn't letting her get away with this. So I walk right up to her porch, one officer trailing behind just in case things get spicy. And there she is, floral robe, coffee mug, and that look that says she's already writing the next complaint in her head. "Alex, I was just protecting the neighborhood," she says, real sweet and innocent. But you can hear the edge underneath. You can't blame me for being vigilant. You never know who people really are these days. I wanted to snap, but years of training kicked in. Instead, I stared her down, let her see she'd crossed a line. The officer, bless him, tried to explain how dangerous false reports can be. Karen just waved him off, all better safe than sorry. But something in me snapped that day. Not rage, but this cold, clear determination. If she was going to make my life hell, I was done playing nice. That night, back in my city apartment, I turned my living room into a command center. Association bylaws, county codes, you name it. I read every scrap of paper Karen ever sent, found every loophole, and started making notes. Did you know there's a statute about vexatious reporting serial false alarms, basically? And it comes with fines, restraining orders, even civil suits. Well, I do now. I started laying out a plan. Not revenge, but justice for me, for Jamal, for everyone in Whispering Pines who'd ever had to walk on eggshells. Step 1, gather evidence. Step 2, rally the neighbors. Step 3, bring her down by her own rules. I started chatting up Tom and Linda next door. Sweet folks been here forever. I asked if Karen's ever given them grief, and you'd think I'd asked if the sky was blue. Tom tells me about the time she threatened fines over their tacky tomato plants. Linda jumps in with stories about Karen calling animal control on their cat, sending anonymous notes complaining about grandkids laughing too loud. I told them what happened with the cops, left out the badge part, and watched the relief on their faces when they realized they weren't alone. You take the lead, Alex. We'll back you up. Suddenly, I wasn't just one guy against the storm. I beefed up my security cameras on every corner, audio everything by the book. Sent Karen a certified letter following your recent false report. My property is now monitored for our mutual safety. She got the message. But did she back down? Not a chance. She doubled up. New violation letters, new threats. Her emails started getting more pointed comments about visitors and family values, the kind that aren't really about values at all. But here's where things take a turn. I get advice from Rachel, a prosecutor buddy. Treat this like a raid, Alex. Document every slip. Bait her to overplay her hand. So I set the trap. I invite my whole old squad out. 12 guys, all pros, for a backyard barbecue. Nothing shady. We're grilling burgers, tossing a football, talking shop, and yes, cleaning our personal gear out in the open. Beforehand, I even called the sheriff's office to give them a heads up. Hey, just so you know, there's going to be a lot of off-duty officers at my place. All legal, all safe. They thank me for the courtesy. Wouldn't you know it, by noon, Karen's at her window phone, glued to her ear, practically hyperventilating. Within minutes, a cruiser shows up, same officer as before. He walks the yard, laughs at the spread, tells me Karen called about an armed militia takeover. I hand him the footage, the call log, every detail. He says, Alex, this is strike 2. Send it to the DA. We're sick of this too. But Karen, she's not done yet. Next thing I know, she's blasting out emails about a paramilitary invasion, stirring up fear about outsiders and safety. She calls an emergency HOA meeting at the clubhouse. You'd think it was a town hall for a zombie apocalypse. I show up early, laptop in hand. She starts ranting at the podium, accusing me of threatening the neighborhood, bringing in dangerous people. It's almost funny if it weren't so nasty. But when I get my turn, I don't waste words. I cue up a projector video of Jamal and me totally above board cleaning guns. Next clip, the barbecue, a bunch of grown men laughing and grilling. Then the 911 audio, Karen's panicked call describing us like we're breaking into Fort Knox. The room goes dead silent. Then I show the ordinance, the legal filings, and announce my formal complaint against her for harassment and endangerment. Karen tries to shout me down. This is slander. But Tom stands up, voice booming. You've terrorized us for years, Karen. Enough. Linda backs him up. More voices join in. Stories tumble out, her threats, her spying, her endless notes and complaints. It was like a dam bursting. Karen turns red as a beet, grabs her purse, and storms out. Within a week, she's voted out as HOA president. A judge slaps her with a restraining order, fines, and mandatory counseling. Tom takes over, and the association chills way out. No more nitpicking, just a simple motto: be decent to your neighbors. You want to know the best part? Someone stuck a flock of pink flamingos on Karen's lawn as a farewell. That right there felt like justice. Looking back, I'm not sure what surprises me more, how fast a bully's power crumbles when you hit them with the truth, or how quickly a group of people who thought they were alone can become a team. Was I ruthless? Maybe. Was it necessary? You tell me. Ever had to stand up to a neighborhood tyrant? or used your work skills to fix a mess at home? I want to hear it. Drop your story in the comments, hit like if you know what I mean, and let's talk about where that line between justice and overkill really is. Because out here, sometimes you've got to be your own cavalry.